the GM. It's the 8-Bit Show with your hosts, Frankie 1002.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm Two Littles 505.
Yeah.
And of course, with us always is the Coffee and Corn Dogs. Hi guys.
Woo, 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 woo. Hello.
Hello everybody.
How are you?
Sorry, I don't know what came over me. I thought that was a good intro though.
Yeah, no, it was a good intro. It was perfect. I have no complaints.
No notes.
No notes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. After eating some hearty meals yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was some deliciousness. I loved it. All of it. So good. It's one of the best ideas you've ever had.
All my best ideas do involve food. That is a fact.
I don't know if that's true. Not all your best ideas, but a good portion of them for sure. But yeah. So a little. I mean, what do you call it? It's like a food truck depot, right?
It's a food truck food court.
Food truck food court. There you go. That's
Food truck court. Food truck court.
Food truck court.
Order in the court.
So yeah, that opened up around the corner from my casa, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I like the atmosphere. I love
like
the food. Yeah, no, the tacos that I had were delicious.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I just have no complaints about that place, honestly. I mean, okay, here's the thing. I will say, even for food truck food, which can be more expensive, which I understand. It did still feel a little above price, but I think the level of service that you get there, it's 100% worth it. So
I don't think it was overly overpriced compared to like an average restaurant. Like it's not fast food, obviously. Yeah. But I mean, in most places, it's $10 to $12 a plate, if not more, for more of the dinner entree type things.
Yeah.
So I thought it was decently priced.
I mean, I know we live in a different time, but I'm still under the impression that that's a lot of money for a plate.
It is. It is, but just relative to like
no, it's comparable.
What's currently around and stuff, it's not. It wasn't overly bad.
But yeah, and I had some coffee. The coffee was pretty good too. Yeah.
But anyways, welcome to the 8-Bit Show, where we don't usually talk about food trucks, but video game stuff.
That's okay. We can talk about food trucks. Food trucks are on the table, right?
I mean, everything's on the table here.
Right. Yeah.
It's all on the table.
All of it, all the time. But yeah. And then we had a few drinks, hung out. It was good stuff. It was a good day yesterday,
Yeah. Were you able to find news?
Gaming news? All the news that you already fucking took?
Yeah, did you find any of that?
I found gaming related news.
8. I have 8 articles. It's not even that much.
That's more than you normally put. You normally put like 6. You know how I know? Because every week I try to get at least 6 to match you.
It's only 2 more than that.
Yeah, that's above and beyond. And then you did a good job. And I'm angry about it.
Sorry, I won't do a good job again.
Yeah, you see to it.
It's my bad. I should have known better.
You should have. You're right.
I guess so. I'm presenting news. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, do it. You take it away. You start it off. I'll got you here.
You'll put interesting comments in there.
Occasionally.
Nice. Well, I guess first up, my favorite game publishers and developers, Ubisoft.
Oh yeah, I do know how you like that Ubisoft.
Released a new Blood Dragon game.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's from Captain Laserhawk, which is seemingly a Netflix show set in the same universe.
Oh, I see.
But it is part of like the Blood Dragon universe, which was the Far Cry 3 spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
They introduced Captain Laserhawk the game, a top-down shooter set in the Blood Dragon universe and starring Rayman as a commentator.
Interesting.
Yeah, nothing too bad about Ubisoft releasing another game, except for it's a Web3 game and requires you to buy an NFT to play. This NFT takes the form of your very own Ninja Warrior card that improves as you play the game.
What?
Presumably making it gain value over time.
Gaining value over time.
So that one day players / NFT believers might buy it off you.
They'll buy it off me? I'll be rich.
Buy it off you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. This sounds like a scam.
I mean, it's an NFT, so there's instantly that.
So it is a scam.
I want to explain why it sounds like a scam.
You know how when things sound like a pyramid scheme, and it turns out they are?
You notice that I announced that this game is it's actually out. It's out. It's been released.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And Ubisoft seems to be playing the whole thing very free to play, mobile, MMO trick of concealing as much of its gameplay as it can.
Is this another one of these things then that was like, oh, it was built with NFTs in mind because we're gonna jump on the bandwagon, which, like, as stupid as it is and as much as I hate it, like, I understand like companies wanting to jump on something while it's popular. Video games can't usually do that though, just because the development time is so long. Anyways, did this get caught up in that? And then it's like, okay, the NFTs are still there because, well, it's like a core part of the game. Or are they like straight up? Are they? Because I mean, it doesn't sound like it. How long has it been out?
Not very long.
Okay, because I haven't heard any advertisement on this game. This is actually the first I've heard of it. I mean, I heard you talking about it yesterday, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like it hasn't. I think it came out this week. I've been trying to get to the official site, although I'm not finding that insanely easy. I can get to their Twitter stuff, and from like what I see, it's not looking good. Like, it just seems to be kind of a grab and a collaboration with the show with Netflix, right? But it looks like it could be some sort of like shooter, like arena shooter thing, but it looks very bland, like every other NFT thing we've done. And of course, they tout that like the NFT stuff and how rewarding it is that you'll receive rewards and stuff that are exclusive to you and make the worth of your guy go up. Which, dumb. There's things that when they were touting NFTs that I thought could be cool, like having multiple games where you could bring in your avatar, and stuff could be really cool. But the whole NFT thing, like, why couldn't you do that without the blockchain NFT thing? Like, it seems like it could be done
Yeah, well, it's just
without
another
trying to like scam people.
yeah. It's another way to try to get money from people, by giving perceived value over actual value.
Yeah,
Just the bottom line is, NFTs fell out way too quickly for that to be cashed in by a lot of people. Which is
That's
why
true.
I think some of these articles feel like such a joke now, because it's like, man, like
Well,
nobody is taken in by this anymore. Like, we've caught up. It's fine. Oh my god.
yeah. So
I can't find it.
things happen like that in the industry, right? Where the research, like, you'll see something coming up, and you're like, okay, we should put a game out like with this stuff in mind, and regardless of what it happens to be, and then by the time you're ready to like release that game, like, market trends have changed, right? And so actually I have another story about something very similar. It's not an NFT thing, and moves away from Ubisoft. And just as a side note, to end off the Ubisoft thing, Ubisoft sucks, and fuck you, Yves Guillemot. Moving on.
Moving on.
No, so that does kind of lead well into the Frostpunk creators canceled their next project, labeled Project 8, and lays off staff amid with concerns that narrative-driven, story-rich games don't sell. So apparently, for a while, they've been working on this Project 8 game, which is a narrative-driven game. It was going to be a big like console release game. Yeah, it was. See, from their words, it was our vision for Project 8, which was intended to be our first title designed specifically for console gamers, was bold and exciting. However, it was conceived under very different market conditions when narrative-driven, story-rich games held stronger appeal. I feel like this is a lot of excuse on my end, because I don't think narrative-driven games have necessarily fallen out of that much appeal.
Well, here's the thing. They make less money. That's what that translates to. Right? I think overall across the board, these big multiplayer games, they make a lot more money. And that's what they mean. I don't think the appeal has gone away. You know what? I might take that back a little bit, because I feel like maybe as older gamers, we do kind of tend to get away from the longer narrative-driven games more recently.
Well,
who's
okay,
got time
so
for
you have games recently that came out that have won awards for their narrative-driven, story-rich games.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we are generally the exception, but yeah.
I mean, Final Fantasy, the new Final Fantasy game would fit this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, it did well. It did not sell.
Yeah,
but to me, especially when he kind of goes on, he says, with Project 8, we experienced both breakthroughs and setbacks, and during COVID-19 pandemic, stabilizing the development team proved particularly difficult, yet progress continued. And it just seems like,
I mean, I don't want to.
With every delay they accumulated, the budget kept getting out of hand, right? Because the longer you take, the less of a budget you have.
Yeah.
Like
like, I don't want to say that it's an excuse. I mean, I kind of do think that it is.
I'm not saying like I don't like seeing like layoffs because of stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's still kind of like the whole situation. If you want to read the article, the link from Rock Paper Shotgun actually has a whole lot of comments and stuff from them about this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more, again, just kind of like bad management. Like they weren't able to keep to their timelines and stuff, and a lot of that isn't necessarily their fault. COVID-19 did like screw a lot of people on that.
Well, I think here
it's just the excuse, just the headline excuse of it being the reason, because it's, you know, they had to cancel it because it's a narrative driven, story rich game, which doesn't hold much appeal. Seems kind of like thin. Like there's got to be more of a reason that that game isn't being released. We see story narrative rich game, you know, we see these games being released all the time, and they, I mean, maybe don't perform as well as like a live service game, of course, but they do well.
You said
but it does seem like, yeah, it does say do. They do well, and
no, well, see, so
it seems like the budget just kind of got out of hand because of a lot of the delays.
No, yeah,
which
and I don't even know if it's just delays, but yeah, no,
that reeks management issue.
I agree. I think it is definitely a management issue, but the way that I think it kind of comes more across is that like, I feel like this is a problem with a lot of these mid-sized, even some smaller developers. They get this the scope creep hits them real hard, where they want to make something, you know, big and awesome, and that's out of their realm of possibility. You know, at least in their current situation. I'm not saying that they don't have the talent, but they might not have the funds to see that to the end. You know, so I think the issue really has to do with.
There's a lot of games that do get canceled and stuff. I mean, the more sad thing is the loss of more staff.
Oh yeah, no.
In the year that's worse than the previous year, that was worse than the year before it.
Yeah, for sure.
The layoff situation has just gotten really bad.
Really, really bad.
And this is just, you know, compounding on top of that. Whether the reasons for any of it are legit or not, at the end of the day, I think a lot of them come down to management issues, and the people who end up getting laid off are just kind of shit out of luck, even though they didn't have anything to do with it. You know?
Yeah. Indeed. 'Tis unfortunate. But it's hard in the game industry right now, right?
Yeah, keep track of those developers. A lot of them are out there doing cool things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't have it as a news article really, but a lot of the team behind Diablo 1 and 2 are going to be trying to put out an ARPG that they hope to push the bounds of what those type of games are and bring in the fun and what made, you know, Diablo 1 and 2 as great as they were.
Yeah,
that's their goal. I read about them a little bit, and I thought that was cool. So keep an eye on those developers. They do come out and they do try and start projects. Developers are in games because they love games, not because the working conditions are so good.
Right. Well, next up, I got... Huh?
Oh, holy shit, you found something.
I told you, I have news.
Oh. I thought you said you didn't have news.
No, not. I don't have a lot of gaming news. I have a lot of gaming adjacent news.
Oh,
this is some nerdy stuff. All right, so
okay.
As you guys might know, Kraven the Hunter came out. Did you guys go see this?
Why would we?
to
No.
laugh at it. That's why you would go see it, to
I would
laugh
not
at
pay
it.
money to go see Craven the Hunter. I wasn't that thrilled by the trailers I saw.
Hey,
And
Craven the Hunter's out.
it amazingly did exactly what I thought it was going to do in theaters, which is bomb.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at this point, oh shoot, what's the name of that movie? Fucking with fucking, you're tearing me apart, Lisa. The Room.
The Room.
Yeah. So, like, I would go and pay to see The Room at this point because it's just something that I can just laugh at. Like, it'd be cool to be in a theater, I think, with a bunch of people who are like, no, we are down to fucking laugh and poke fun at this movie the entire time. So I would pay for that in the same way that I would like to go see Craven and have that camaraderie with a bunch of random people. I guess for that.
I don't really want to like pay to go see it, but I would like, like the Borderlands movie. Like I still kind of want to see that. I want to see how bad.
Yeah, right. Like it
is
right. It's a train wreck you want to see, just to see how the train wreck ended up, right?
Oh, I was thinking just more along the lines so I could make the fun of Randy Pitchford more. But
that's also fair. Anyway,
that's
so
really fun to do.
As you pointed out, Craven bombed, and it seems that fans are actually turning to Sony to tell them you just need to stop. I feel like every Spider-Man-less movie that has come out in the Spider-Man universe has gotten progressively worse.
Yeah, I mean the new Venom doesn't look all that hot either.
No, I mean there's parts of it that look more redeeming than the other ones because
I mean it looks funny and I like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I think the thing is though is that Tom Hardy he's figured out how to sell that. Maybe he's getting tired of it. I don't know, but it doesn't look as good. And honestly, I didn't think the second one was as good as the first one. I thought it was still good,
No.
but
One of my biggest problems with the whole Venom, all of them, has been how hard the fights are to read.
mm-hmm.
Like when
there's
they're
all the
actually
CG
fighting,
and
there's
everything
all
going
the
on.
CG and all the tentacles because Venom is what Venom is.
Yeah,
It just makes it really hard to read as a movie.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like that's why, in my personal opinion, like animation is just kind of better for stuff like that.
Well, I think if they treated it in the same scope of it, yeah, I don't know why, but it feels like when it comes to like that's the difference between animation and like CGI. Like you can even see it in the Disney movies, right? Like you look at the older movies and there's a lot of like, oh, we're gonna show off the beautiful background that we made and like give you these wide shots so you can see the characters and see how hard we worked on the animation. When it feels like when something's so full of CG, it's just tons and tons of close-ups. Because they're like, oh, we want you to see the detail that we can achieve, and it's like
Marvel's never been great at like having clear fights. Like they have like they do like the screenshot things where everything is all the fighting is to move characters into very specific poses so you can get like a slow down image of it.
You mean with the hair and they're total posers.
Yeah, total posers. Basically.
Yeah.
They got to get those poses, and there's nothing wrong with that. It does lead to some cool, like, hey, look at what they're doing. They're doing that scene.
Yeah,
that's like
right.
From the cover of that comic.
Yeah,
and it's kind of cool, but at the same time, the rest of the fighting is just like a gibberly, goobly mess of nonsense. I had the same critique and issue with the like Transformers movies. I don't like any of them because none of the Transformers looks like. When they're fighting, I have no idea what's going on. No idea.
Agree, because they do a lot of close-ups and whatnot. But see, I'm going to argue with you there because I don't feel like the MCU proper has that problem. I don't have problems tracking a fight in any of the MCU movies. It's specifically Sony. You know what? That's a lot of the problem with DC movies too in the fights. That there's a lot of close-ups.
It happens in DC a lot too. I'm not saying it does not.
yeah, I feel like I don't have, and I can see how there could be a problem, but I don't feel I don't have a problem tracking the fights. At least all the way up to Endgame.
I think some of them are not bad, and some of the fights are pretty clear.
Because I mean,
but some of the bigger ones, and especially when they're like monstrous beings, they become like a garbled mess.
Well, yeah,
because they try and do a cartoony thing, but in real life that only translates so much, and
right, yeah,
it just doesn't quite work.
Yeah. Agreed.
Ones like Venom, you know, where there's tentacle monsters.
Yeah.
And all the tentacles blur together. Like, sure, if I really pick it out, I could probably still follow along with it or whatever, but it shouldn't be that hard to read out of fights. Like, when I'm watching John Wick, I'm not confused by the actions he's doing. Like, it's all very, very solid and clear. Right?
You know what's interesting? We were actually... I put on... Yeah, I put on Kill Bill. I don't remember what I was doing, but I just had it on as background, right? But in the first one, I gotta say, like, when I was watching the fight scene in the restaurant against Lisa Liu's character, before Lisa Liu actually fights her, you know, when it's the Crazy 88, like, that feels very John Wick. Like,
it's very solid.
I haven't seen it before. Yeah, I haven't seen it since John Wick has came out, but I was just like, man, this gives such a feeling. I wonder how much of Kill Bill was an inspiration for John Wick.
It's not even like necessarily inspiration, really, right? Like, it doesn't need to be. It's good choreography. When you have such good choreography that everything feels so fluid,
I'm talking about
you can see it
before it even gets to that point. Like, that point too, but like just the setup for it, where it's like, oh, there's a shit ton of people and I'm this one badass that's gonna like clearly cut through them before the choreography even really starts. It even had that feel, and of course, like, going into it, her like cutting through everyone and the way the choreography is, like, it's definitely continues that feel. But I just thought that it was interesting that even before it got to that, it had that John Wick feel to me. And, like, specifically John Wick. Like, that was the movie that came to mind. I don't know. It was just interesting because I was just like, oh, okay. John Wick without guns. Somebody, Keanu Reeves saw this and was like, we need to put a gun in her hand and then...
I noticed it with movies with really good choreography, or TV shows that do. Even like certain scenes, even if it's a one-off scene, like the Daredevil movies did it, or the TV show, the Netflix TV show.
Yeah,
like the 2 seasons both had like the stairwell scene, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just really close in fighting, but it's all really good. You follow along, like every hit you can read. And I feel a lot of movies, especially a lot of like Marvel and those quick movies, miss some of that. A lot of those heavily CGI'd movies miss that. Disney
next up,
pay for good coordinators.
Oh, they pay for good coordinators. They definitely do. Like, the coordinators that have worked on some of those movies, they're world-class people. Now, whether they phone it in or not, I don't know.
Well, that's why I said they don't want to pay for it, right? Like, they get the name. They get the name behind it, but they don't pay that person enough, so they don't put it enough for it. I have more news.
Yeah, you did.
More news.
News?
What is this one?
Good question.
Okay. Read one of the headlines was matching what my idea was. I was like, okay, that's what it's about. Anyways, Sega is being sued.
Sega's
being sued by the writer of the infamous Sonic Adventure 2 song, Live and Learn, claiming he owns the rights to the song in part, and alleges the company has been using the song without his permission and making money off of it for the past 20 years.
Okay. Why are you doing this now? Is this lawsuit new? Is this like an ongoing thing?
The lawsuit was spotted by Polygon. Fairly recently, the 18th. Yeah, the musician Johnny Gio is suing Sega for breach of contract. So it must be that he just found out that it was, or he's claiming he just found out that that song is being used in more than just that game. Filed earlier in December in California. And he's the owner. It claims that he's the owner of the master recording and composition of the song. Says he was unaware of the usage in in at least 25 different games, including the re-release of Sonic Adventure 2, Yakuza 4, Sonic Generations, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Sonic and the Olympic Games, and he alleged that Sonic doesn't have the correct license to use the song, which would mean that Joey wasn't rightly compensated for the usage in these games.
A 2001 lyric agreement where Gioli was paid $3,000 to write lyrics for it as a yet untitled song that would be included in Sonic Adventure 2. He did so at his home studio using his own equipment and own vocals, allegedly without Sega's direct involvement. He did work with Sega composer Jun Senoue, sorry for butchering the last name, over the phone, with him initially sending him a music demo that Gioli was supposed to write lyrics for. Wait. But he was paid $3,000 to write lyrics.
Oh yeah, originally for that song, for like the demo song that was sent to him. Gioli then would rework them and revise the song, which he owns the master recording of. So he did end up like revising the musical part of it as well, and not just doing lyrics.
Interesting. Well, okay, and here's the problem, right? It seems like
the master recording is credited to his band Crush 40 and not Sega.
Well, okay, so legally speaking here, it sounds like he was paid by Sega, but he wasn't in direct communication with Sega, instead working through this other guy who was also paid by Sega.
Yeah.
And with that, he might have done things. He might have went above and beyond to change the song, but then why would he hand that over? That's what I think will be.
So like seemingly he didn't like hand it completely over. Like he gave them the rights to use it for that song, right? He licensed it basically to them. Because or is it down here? The license agency BMI, which lists the co-written by himself and Sano, he also holds the copyright.
Okay, I see. So the idea is he was supposed to be paid more. He was supposed to be paid like entitled to
for those other games.
Profits. Yeah.
He was supposed to be paid something for those other games that it was a part of.
Yeah, and basically they kept using the song without his permission.
They might
saying
throw
that wasn't
out
in the contract.
Yeah, although they wouldn't necessarily have to. They might throw out the remake game, Sonic Adventure, the re-release of Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a remake, it was just a re-release of past content that might still fall over the license that they would have. But the other games for sure, if they didn't, like, he might be in the right. I don't know. It'd be interesting to follow.
Yeah, I think this is.
Joey is
what he's
basically
saying,
asking the court to determine who the ownership of the master is, and then go from there.
Oh, that's weird. Huh. That's a weird. I don't know. Is this that just seems like a weird way to argue it? Because I think this just needs to be over the contract and what was agreed to. But there's weird things about this. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Because, I mean, contract-wise, I would say that, like, it sounds like...
Crucially, too, a big piece of this is that the dispute seemingly is unrelated to its inclusion in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is coming out. But Gioli confirmed that he indeed signed a deal with Paramount for the song's placement. So Paramount reached out to him already to get that right for the song.
So they
precedent.
And so he learned that the song has been used
in other
because because he was like, oh, I've been reached about this, they want to use this, and then probably
lo and behold, he finds out that it became that popular. Because everyone knows that song. If you played Sonic 2, you definitely know that song. It's like your first introduction to the Sonic 2 adventure.
That's really interesting here. I guess we're gonna need to keep tabs on this one to see where it ends up, because
we might not know about anything. It could all happen behind doors.
That's true. It's true.
It might not have any concrete conclusions, but it is interesting that that's happening.
Yep. Oh, Sonic, when will you learn? All right. I got something else. This is game related.
Is it?
Yes. Marvel Rivals is adding an Oops All Jeff mode. For those of you who have played Marvel Rivals, Jeff the Land Shark is one of the cutest, most adorable, and really fun characters to play. Has a very Splatoon feel with Jeff, because he can, he can swim in the ground because he's a land shark. That's what he does.
See, I recently watched, well, not recently, but I watched a movie called Ghost Shark, and it could it could get around, but it had to use it definitely had to use like pools of water.
Yeah,
but it could use like small pools of water and eat your face out of a cup of water. It was a dumbass movie.
It was a very silly movie.
But yeah, so the Winter Celebration that started yesterday. Yeah, if you like Jeff, there's this mode where everybody can play Jeff, because as with most of these sort of games, only one person can pick a character at a time on each team. So Jeff the Land Shark, I think, is a fan favorite. He's apparently not even like in the top 5 most picked characters, but what they managed to do with him, I think holds a special place in some of these gamers' hearts. So yeah, this is kind of a cool mode. Can't wait to check it out. But yeah.
That's cool. Have you ever heard of the director James Wan?
Who?
James Wan.
I don't know. Have I?
I don't know. You probably have.
Okay.
You've definitely seen at least one of his movies. He is the director of Saw. And he did like Insidious.
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. His production company, Atomic Monster, is planning to develop Pacific Drive as a TV series.
Oh, a TV series.
Yeah.
Interesting. I definitely see how you can turn this into. I guess you could turn it into a TV show too. I can see how you could turn it into a TV show. My initial thought would be, oh, it would be a great movie, but
yeah, he says he made a few little comments about it. He said Pacific Drive was his favorite survival game. He said the biggest challenge would also be coming up with a main character, because in the game you're just a mute driver.
Well, would it take place? I don't know. See, here's the thing, right? Here's the video game to TV adaptation. I don't want the main character of the video game to be the main character of the TV show. Show me a different aspect of that world. And I think, especially with this, like at least what I saw you play of what's the name of the game? Pacific Drive.
Pacific Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could do so much just around the exclusion zone, right?
Right. Well, I mean, like it seems like there's so much backstory that you could expand upon.
Yeah, you could even do like
so.
what set off the. You could have like.
What's her name?
And it'd be
Allie?
cool lore.
I don't remember her name.
To go to, and see like what took place to happen to make the exclusion zone, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot there. Like that world is really cool. It was a really, really fun game. I haven't finished beating it, but it's definitely up there when I'm while I'm considering what will be this year's game of the year for me. It's definitely in contention, or it's definitely in there. It's definitely in running.
Yeah. No, for
nominated for sure. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's environment. Like, yeah, you're a mute character, but the characters that you do hear from that are around, and the stories that you get by exploring are really interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, like that's kind of the. It's one of those things. I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, the characters that you just talk to over the radio, like that's not fun. Well, like it's not immersive.
Well,
it's
there's more going on as you find out like why the car, right?
Well, I think the
why
problem
you have a car and what your attachment to this car is like part of the mystery of what's going on, and the ways you find out about it and stuff like that are not only cool, but you could also throw that into a show in itself.
Yeah. Well, I think the issue that some people have with games like that is that it's all exposition usually in those sort of games, right? And that's what they don't like. But yeah, like you can now be able to do that in a non-expositional way with the TV show, so that could be really cool. Yeah.
I mean, I guess in the game it's kind of expositional, but like I feel like they drip feed it to you really well.
No, I think it's done great.
A lot of the mystery is uncovered off of like the subtlety of what people are saying,
right? Yeah,
and what you're like observing and going on.
Agreed.
So yeah, that'd be cool. James Wan. He's a pretty good director. That's a pretty good team up.
Right.
Of course, currently this is really new. They're developing it. There's currently no, date for it to air.
Yeah.
No streaming service or network partnership has been announced. This is very early concept stuff, but I thought it was interesting.
Oh no, it's totally interesting. Yeah, for sure. I guess I'm up next.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got some Switch news.
Switch news.
Yeah, have you heard that oh shoot, did I click on ad? Oh man, I hate it when the background is an ad. It's fucking stupid. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nintendo Life. The Switch has finally surpassed PlayStation 2's lifetime sales in the United States. That means there's only one console left that it has to beat to become the best selling console of all time here in the US.
What console is that?
The Nintendo DS.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Can it do it? Do you think it could beat the DS?
Okay, well, let's see. Switch is now at 46.6 million.
It's only officially better in every way.
It can't. There's no way. Okay. All right. So this article says the Switch is at 46.6 million units sold as of the 30th of November.
Okay.
The DS. Guess how much that sits at? Don't look at the fucking screen, Christian.
I am not. I'm looking at my own news screens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like double that.
More. It's triple.
More. Holy
Yes.
shit! Triple.
Yeah, they're not gonna fucking catch up.
The DS is a banger. It's my favorite console ever.
Oh, it's amazing. If I didn't have arthritis, I would still love playing it to this day. Like I'm glad that all these rumors about the Switch being bigger.
That's why the Switch is like. That's why I said the Switch is superior in every way. Because I could at least put a normal controller to it and not kill my hands.
Oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, so we'll see. It's good stuff though.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
It'd be nice to see if we can get another console to overthrow, the current champion. But in time, I suppose.
It's a hefty record.
It is a hefty record. Yeah, I didn't realize that the sales were that fucking big. That's a little insane, honestly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So Helldivers made some news.
Oh yeah,
a little bit. They actually made quite a bit, so there's a bit more than the article that I have to share with Helldivers. Helldivers made it to be the most successful. Made it its first year, and being the most successful live service year for a game. This year, which is really cool.
Right.
Of course, during the Game Awards, they announced the new update, which released that day, with the new enemy units, the Illuminate.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the name?
That is the name, yes.
Yeah.
Played a little bit of them. Sure, we'll talk about that a little later. That was fun. But also, Helldivers is getting it got its first crossover.
Yeah.
With another game. Helldivers 2.
The kids like the crossovers nowadays, you know.
Yeah. They released a Killzone crossover, which is pretty cool. The Killzone games from the PlayStation 3 era. Which always had really cool aesthetics, even though I thought they were pretty generic first-person shooter games. The aesthetic was always really cool, so it's cool to bring that over. Although it did cause a bit of a backlash. As it came out, it got put in it's put in the Superstore, where you can buy you can buy a new cape, a new helmet, a new piece of armor, a new assault rifle, which is basically just a look. It's, as far as anything else goes, it's just the look. And you had 5 days to get them from the store before they were rotated out. So a
Mhm.
bunch of people were worried that those weren't going to be around for very long, so they're introducing FOMO.
Yeah.
And also they were really expensive. The new armor costed 500 super creds. The new cape was 310 super creds. The new helmet was 310. And the new assault rifle was 615. So altogether, you're looking at like $20.
Mhm.
And this was supposed to be for the first part of a 2-part thing.
Yeah.
So in response, because of course they did, Helldivers 2 listened to the audience, and so now the items in the store will be available for 10 days, and they are working out ways to make sure that those items aren't like gone for good. They might not stay in the store after those 10 days. They're going to rotate,
Hmm.
but they're hoping to make them part of the rotation, or at the very least make it some sort of like a reoccurring event that happens occasionally.
Yeah. Hmm.
But on top of that, the second part 2 of the Killzone crossover will be given away for free to
that's
all
cool.
the players.
Yeah.
As a apology.
That's interesting because I mean I don't know, but it doesn't feel like that's too expensive. I don't know. You guys are more familiar with the game, so how are you?
I guess for a good comparison to just the set there costing about $20 if you wanted to purchase it all, it's 1,000 super credits for one of their war bonds, one of their like premium war bonds, which is their like season pass things.
Yeah.
It's only 1,000 credits, which is $10.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
And that comes with usually more than one set of gear and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was a bit more expensive than the normal stuff in there. But it is nice that instead of just like kind of ignoring it and still doing it and who cares, they did like listen to their community,
totally.
and as a response, whether it was in panic so they don't lose the great record numbers that they're turning out, because again, once the Illuminate hit, they started setting records for their game again as far as player numbers, and it's maintaining up there pretty well now. They've given a bunch of people a new fresh experience and new things to go after.
Yeah.
So good on them.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just that. I think they enjoy listening to the player base and being able to adjust. Like I think it's more than just like, oh, what's the way to maximize our money. They feel more genuine than a lot of other places. I'm not saying that there's none of that. Like they obviously need to make enough money to be able to sustain themselves.
Well, I've always appreciated it that like my feelings on them is that they've always maintained a really good live service model. Nothing's like truly locked behind anything. Yeah, it might take you a little while to get the money to purchase one of the war bonds or whatever. But all that is earnable like in game, and it's not that bad. I played for less than like 2 hours recently and earned another 100 credits. So it's not overly difficult to get those funds.
Yeah.
If you can't afford to like purchase the premium currency.
Which, if you're digging the game and you want to spend that money anyways, then it's almost like, oh well, yeah, I could just keep playing.
And then so far, all of the war bonds that they've released are like still available to be purchased.
Mhm.
And if you purchase them, they're definitely not going anywhere. They're not like, once you purchase them, all that stuff will be unlockable to you till the end of time. No FOMO, just chilling.
Yeah.
So I feel like they've done a lot right when it comes to live service games.
Agreed. No, they definitely done. They've done. They've been able to clearly listen to their fan base and, you know, give a good gaming experience. Bottom line.
Yeah.
So good on them.
You got more?
I do have more.
Haha.
You know that guy Jesse Eisenberg?
Never heard of him.
He's the guy that, for some reason, was casted to play Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know, he's
more wish I'd never heard of him.
He was he was okay in Zombieland.
He's okay in some stuff. It's fine. I'm more giving shit to his Lex Luthor performance. That was dumb as hell.
I'll even argue that he did good in the Facebook movie because he makes you really dislike Mark Zuckerberg. So spot on.
That's not too hard,
right? Exactly.
Have you seen Mark Zuckerberg or heard anything about him? It's really easy to hate that man.
But yeah, so apparently he's blaming Batman v Superman for harming his career. Now, listen. Batman v Superman was a terrible movie.
It was a bad movie, yeah.
There were a lot of problems with it, but one of them was Jesse Eisenberg and his performance. Honestly, he shouldn't have been casted in it, so I don't know. Maybe it wasn't completely his fault. Still,
maybe it's the direction they wanted to take.
Maybe.
Like, some of it, I don't know if I can blame on him. Like, the weird, like, making him seem almost Jokerish.
Yeah, right.
Aspect that they went with. I don't know if that was his idea or the studio's.
I don't know. Nobody said anything. Nobody wants to take credit for that, for sure.
Well, of course nobody wants to take credit for it because it was a bad idea.
Well, you know, I mean,
I sure as fuck wouldn't want to take credit for it either.
Well, I mean,
which is why I had nothing to do with it.
I guess that's kind of like with Tom Hardy. Have you heard him talk about Bane?
No,
like recently.
I haven't heard.
He was like, you know,
I heard his comments on Bane.
You know, I was talking with the director. We were figuring out what direction we want to go, and I was like, oh, I think I should do this voice. I think it'll really pay off, and it didn't. Like, yep. Actually, he owns up to it. So Tom Hardy.
So there's a lot of that. That's a lot of it, though. A lot of the voice was silly. The voice didn't work. Okay, we can all agree.
Honestly, like rewatching it, because I told you how I was going to rewatch it again. It's
but
really
I thought he was a good.
Yeah.
I thought he was a good Bane.
But yeah. The voice just makes it feel. It undercuts it in a way that it makes it feel too cartoonish. It makes
you go, oh no, not the Monopoly guy. Like, it takes away from all the bit of like fear and imposingness that he does actually have.
Exactly. Yep.
Outside of that stupid voice. I'm glad he realized it was a stupid decision.
Right. I'm just glad that he can own up to it. So yeah, I mean, so Jesse Eisenberg, like, I don't know if it's your fault or not, but I don't think you're completely you're completely blameless. But I also think that there's plenty of people who have done shitty roles in the past and they've recovered from it. Like,
it's unfortunate. I've been complaining lately that Hollywood's just too focused on like 10 actors in the same making all of the same movie,
Oh yeah, I know.
and just like all of the movies,
Yeah,
instead of like having a plethora of different actors. No, like it's now we've got like 10 of them and some supporting casts.
yeah.
And
I
it's
feel like it's been
become
that
very-
way for a while.
I mean, maybe it's just something I just hadn't noticed up to this point in time.
I think
Man.
so, because I feel like it was kind of that way even before our time of really coming into like looking at movies as art. But yeah, I mean the problem isn't getting better. I think it is getting worse, which is unfortunate. Cause yeah, I mean, and that's, I don't know, all the rules around Hollywood, like the more and more that I find out about that fucking world, it's like, ugh. No wonder why some actors just hate it so much. Like they're like, yes, I love to act, but God, is the fucking industry the worst. So yeah. That's all. Just a little poking fun at Jesse Eisenberg there. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fair. Well, I'll poke some fun at someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the last two bits of news I've got are from a little bit of some fallout from the Game of the Year award stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all kind of falling under the results of the Game of the Year. The CEO of Black Myth Wukong of Game Science voiced some of his displeasure
Yeah, about not being number one.
yeah, and some of his statements came off very
Oh, he's a jerk.
not great.
There's a big part why I don't want to buy this game. I do not like the developers, and I mean that. Like, there seems to be a lot of developers on this team who are not great. I'm not saying all of them aren't, because I obviously haven't like heard, and I mean I don't even fucking speak Chinese. But the shit that I have read about that company, it seems really bad. That being said, the game does look fun.
So look, I think Black Myth could have won. It definitely was up there. I didn't get to play it or anything, but it was obviously like insanely well received, well written, well done. It looked fun. It looked to me like not just a Souls game winning, right? It looked more like a cool adventure game.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did a good job. Like, honestly, the art style looked good. The fighting looked really fun.
But the CEO, one of his comments was I'm trying to find the comment now.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. Like, the culture is different.
It was
and
basically
whatnot.
that he. Okay, here it is. When he was asked, of course, they won. Here's the big thing: Black Myth Wukong did win Game of the Year for Best Action Game,
Mhm.
and player voice wins. So they did win a couple, in which they said it was very gratifying, and yet they missed. There was a sense of loss and regret, and more than anything, though, there was letting go of an illusion. The games nominated this year were all exceptional, but honestly, I still can't figure out what the criteria were for Game of the Year, and I feel like I came all the way out here for nothing. To me, a CEO saying that is pretty gross.
Yeah, it's very.
First off, you won 2 awards.
Right.
I see you're gratified, but holy crap! Like, because you didn't win the game of the year. Now, some of this could be just like lost in translation, and maybe he didn't quite mean it as it
I
came
don't
out.
know. From what I read of this guy, it seems like he meant it.
Because I do understand, like, when you're up for an award like that, right, and you believe and you think you should win and you really believe you should win and you don't get it, that loss can be, devastating. Game writer Alana Pierce was at the Game Awards and was seated near the Black Myth Wukong team. So more than just the CEO, she was seated by the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
And she said there was some that were actually crying when Astrobot won Game of the Year. And that's not to like down punch at them, right? Like I was just saying, like, being up for something so high and not quite getting it is an emotional thing.
Oh yeah, no, I don't blame anybody for getting emotional because they didn't win, right?
No, yeah, it's these comments.
Yeah.
It's the comment. Now, whether this was like just translated badly, what is it? It is stated here by PC Gamer that it does seem it was Chat GPT translated.
Yeah,
So there could be some,
definitely.
like I said,
could be.
it could be coming off a little bit more weird.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Take it with a grain of salt.
But my distrust for CEOs in general and the things that they say are typically in that same ballpark of gross and disgusting.
Yeah.
So it could be real.
Again, there's a lot of things that he said where I don't doubt that he did say these things. Honestly,
as far as like complaining about the criteria for Game of the Year awards, I've talked about it before. That to me is such a minor gripe. If you do have that, like, it might seem obtruse and stuff because it's more of a popularity contest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want, like, for the next 2 months, we're going to be seeing Game Awards stuff.
Oh yeah,
from different places.
Mm-hmm.
The Game Developer Awards, I think, are in January. And those have like pretty strong criteria and judging. So like, it's not over.
Yeah, no.
Black Myth Wukong could still win a yet even more important Game of the Year award.
Right? Yeah.
You know? So that's just
indeed.
Comments like that just do come off kind of like bad showmanship.
Yeah,
me.
exactly. That's
winning 2 awards, one of which is best in category, right? Best action game. That's basically a Game of the Year. That used to be just one of the categories, one of the genre categories that were Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
So you won basically a big one.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a little like you said, bad showmanship right there.
But like I said, there's still other Game Awards to come, and there's a high chance, with how much people love Black Myth Wukong, that it does get a bigger award.
Yeah. Yep, we'll see.
So that was cool. You got anything else?
Last thing I got here is so let's see. Hold on, I gotta double check here. It's Nerd Nest on YouTube. He got his hands on. So before last week, I talked about there was what's it called, a hardware maker. I think they make cases for Switches that they had given somebody a 3D printed mock-up of the Switch 2, and we got some more details about this. It looks like this person on YouTube got a little bit more detailed of a mock-up that seems to show off how the magnets will work and the Joy-Cons. That's been rumored for a while here that it's going to be held in by magnets. He seems to think that it's not going to be just by magnets, that there's actually the two little weird buttons that I've discussed in the past. They seem to be the way that you might actually release the Joy-Cons from the console. Like, yeah, they might magnetically hook in, but there might be another hook that like gets it real seated in there, which would be good, because he had the same sort of concerns that I have. If it's just held, if those Joy-Cons are just held by magnets, that could be a little shifty if you're playing in handheld mode. And yeah, so he has a kind of a detailed breakdown that I'm showing here, where he goes over all the other details. So definitely, if you're interested,
it looked like there was a switch. It looked like there was a switch, right? I imagine what happens is they lock in, and then you hit the little switch button, and they're like officially locked.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's kind of what he's thinking. Well, and he's like, oh, I don't even know if this is going to be like you have to hit them when you put them in, and then it locks it in, and then hit them again to pull them out as like that extra safety mechanism. But it definitely could be, or it could be there's just another clip inside of there that you press only to release it from the switch. So
yeah.
So I think that was kind of the most interesting part that he's gone over. But there's others in there where he does a direct comparison between his OLED Switch and this mock-up here, so you can dive into it and see and get a little bit more details. He talks about like how the cooling will be handled and all of that. His speculation on it. I think it's a really good video. So yeah, check it out.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. And that's it for me for the news.
Sweet. Well, I got one last thing then.
Yeah.
At the Game Awards, there was a game announced called Catly.
Which one was this?
It didn't seem all that pleasing to me. It wasn't any like huge trailer or anything.
I don't even remember this. Was this towards the end, or did I just like gloss over it?
No, it was probably just waved right past it. All it was like didn't really show gameplay. It was like right on the trailer. It was just like a bunch of different looking cats playing around.
Oh yeah, okay, I do kind of remember this now. I'm
on some pillows and stuff.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
Well, people kind of started hopping on that game after the fact and taking a look, because people thought that the trailer looked too AI, looked like it might have been generated by AI at first. So they started looking into it and started calling them out, as their website seemed to feature a lot of clearly, I went to the website and checked it out myself. I know this article doesn't actually go into the level of like actual looking into it. I did myself. The official website for Catly features some clearly AI generated images of cats and no gameplay, not even like a screenshot image of what the game could look like. Not a really clear representation of what the game would be. I had to dig to find out that it was going to be like an MMO thing. The Steam page for it was super vague. On its description, it was kind of just a bunch of keywords, which isn't. Sometimes when a game, like before a game is finished, they might save a spot on like Steam and stuff and fill it with some pretty vague information.
Yeah. Before
having a full description, so that's not that unusual in itself. The website really threw me off because there was like zero anything, and apparently had something to do with like cats, fashion, swimming,
what?
And like just a random plethora of things. So people looked into it and started digging around, and discovered that the only person that you could get a name of from the developers, who are Super Authentic, who have never made anything before. Their Twitter page was made like 4 months ago.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of just like really new stuff. They went looking into it. The name that was discovered through Super Authentic as someone who might own it was also heavily involved with like Web3, blockchain, NFT stuff.
Huh.
Crypto bro. They were kind of called out for some of this, in which the game that apparently have made some statements since then, rejecting the suggestion that their game was built on any blockchain technology or makes use of any NFTs, and doesn't even understand why people are comparing it to this, and that say that like plenty of big games showed no gameplay during reveal. This isn't that unusual, and which I would agree with that statement in itself. But when you start going, it's just very questionable.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then when people start calling them out, still after that with their website and stuff like that, and then the ownership, that it was clearly somebody who has had experience in all that blockchain NFT stuff, is a part of like the company, and it was that's a lie.
Well, so reading in that article,
whether or not the game itself will have it, but to say that your company had no connection with it is a lie. Your owner did. And now, as of like a few days after that, they also released a gameplay trailer, and they changed the Steam page completely a few days ago.
Oh, okay.
Giving it a more basic description.
Mm-hmm.
And this, what you're showing right now, this simple gameplay, which is not impressive, and also not much.
Yeah, it just looks like kind of a very early build of like, oh, here's concept of you're a cat, you wander around this world. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess kind of cozy home-ish sort of in its way, except there's nothing to do.
It's supposed to be some sort of cozy MMO type thing with cat.
Yeah.
And okay, like I'm not necessarily opposed to anything like that, but mind you, the Steam page you're looking at now.
See, there's no locals. Build connections with the locals. There's nobody there. Everybody's moved out of this town. It's overrun with cats.
The Steam page you're looking at is
the new one.
The new one.
Yeah.
And this was changed a couple days ago. Maybe I can.
Love from the industry. This cat MMO is a triumph of innovation and heart, delivering an enchanting world that stands as a testament to the brilliance of its creator, Thomas Vu, producer of League of Legends.
Here you go. Here's, I sent in the show notes, the Wayback Machine
okay.
on Steam, so you can see the difference there.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So a bunch of people are calling it currently a scam game, a rug pull game.
Yeah.
Currently, though, there was also they did have some corroborating evidence on their side from a journalist who apparently did get to see an early build of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And albeit they said it didn't look like all that much. But they did like the simple concepts that were shown and whatnot, and did state that that they did indeed see gameplay. So I don't know fully whether I think it's a scam or not, but it was definitely an interesting occurrence at the Game Awards.
Who was that journalist?
I don't remember the name of it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, that's the wrong page.
I don't know if that's actually mentioned in that article either.
Ben Brody.
I'll look.
I actually got to watch like 20 minutes of gameplay footage, and I thought it looked cool.
There you go.
He wrote on Blue Sky, which they have quoted him inside of the new Steam page as well. His quote on there is, "I didn't think I would be excited about a game about cats, but here we are."
Yeah.
Interesting. So, here's the thing. This looks very AI generated for sure. It looks like they probably have some concepts that they through.
I think their web page,
and they're like,
their web page is very much made with the images on their web page were some of the most AI generated images I had seen.
Well, I think they're
in a long time.
Yeah, I think they're created by AI. They might maybe like remodel them and whatnot in the game. What's interesting is that there's a link here to this phone and watch app for Catly, which you can, I guess, get June 1st, 2025. That's their expected.
See, they even changed the web page a little bit too.
But like, just look at this icon. This icon looks so AI generated. Like, this doesn't look like a model from a game or Blender or anything. Like I think it has been thrown into Blender because look at the eyes, the way that's generated. But
it makes me want to throw it in a blender.
It just looks a little sus.
That's interesting. And then there's a clear lie that they claim they had no connections with any NFT and blockchain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When clearly one of the owners of the Super Authentic definitely has a past in that. Whether or not they're currently doing that in the game is irrelevant. That wasn't what was said or speculated. It was because of his past. And you need to address, like, okay, you can't just lie about it. But either way, we'll see what happens in the game.
I think there's a distinction that could be made if I'm playing devil's advocate, which it sounds like this game might have been originally thought of as kind of an NFT sort of deal, right?
Oh yeah, so I looking into it even more, you found out that guy did originally pitch NFT games when that was a big thing, right? In the form of, he had 3 ideas for games.
Okay.
One of them was like a sci-fi space, it looked like spaceship game. Okay, no big deal. One of them was called Alien Cats.
Yeah, which is what this article said. They think that was the original impetus for this game, right?
Yeah. And that was all stuff that was based on blockchain NFT technology. Those were ideas that were supposed to embrace those moments.
Yeah.
Obviously, you gutted some of it and took it and named it over here. They're also behind a game called Plantly, which has been accused or has had like NFT and stuff. So there's like a lot. There's a lot of interesting and a deep well to delve behind on the Catly situation. I'm fairly convinced that it's probably a real-ish game, just not going to be very good.
Yeah, it depends on how much they're going to charge for it and what this game is actually going to be pitched as, how much more content they're going to be putting inside of it. But I don't have high hopes. It's the bottom line.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Hold my breath for the game. I wasn't. Honestly, I had forgotten all about that like trailer in general when it came to the Game Awards, because it was a nothing. Who cares? Didn't think anything of it. Obviously, put it well out of my mind. But looking into it after the like uproar and backlash was happening, it was interesting. It was an interesting well to dive.
Right. Yep, I guess we'll see. Keep our eye on that one.
Yeah, is that like looking at like the past pages of it, and like I wasn't on the Wayback Machine. Like when I was looking on the Steam page, it had the original thing still.
Mhm.
So this all happened really, really progressively just over the course of this week alone.
Yeah.
It was interesting to watch.
Right. Yeah, I didn't hear about this. This is it's kind of funny. We'll see. Well, yeah, that's it for the news. Release dates. Guess what? Nothing's coming out. Oh no, there's nothing for the next like 2 weeks. So Christmas season.
What about
nobody's releasing a game right now because it's too late. All right, you gotta wait until January. Then people start spending money again. Maybe.
Yeah, it slows down for the restaurant industry too.
Yep. Oh yeah.
This time of year.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's get into our weeks. Listen, I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna tell you guys I have jack all to talk about. Except for The Good Place.
How exciting.
I did finish that show, and I think it ends terrifically. Like, I don't want to spoil it because, like,
Yeah, the satisfying ending though.
yeah, it's very satisfying. The whole show through and through, it's one of my favorite shows because it's so funny, and I think it sends a really good message, and without like. I don't know, like the way that it gave that message in the end, it doesn't feel like it's beating you in the face with like, you better be a good person or whatever, right? So I think overall it's just a really, really good show. It's super enjoyable. I can't recommend it any higher to anyone than yeah, but check it out, basically, is what I'm saying.
Okay. You heard the man.
Yeah, do it. Why is my screen get all fucked up?
Or don't do it. It's up to you, really.
Right? Yeah, you do what you want. You do you, boo.
So is it, huh?
I mean, I played some more Marvel Rivals.
Yeah. I mean, last time you didn't even talk really about it because you just started.
Yeah, I mean, it's Overwatch with super like overpowered characters.
Now it's Overwatch. now it's fucking
I mean, it's better than Overwatch.
Now it's Overwatch. Last night I said that, and I got railed on for like 10 minutes about how it's way better than.
It is way better than Overwatch.
But now you just compared it, and you just said my own damn words.
No, it is way better than Overwatch. Like every aspect that Overwatch had, even like the older game, the original, like that I enjoyed the fuck to play. This game does it better. Every character is overpowered, which is really fucking cool, honestly. It makes it more fun. It makes the characters more enjoyable. There's a lot of characters that are reminiscent of like play style from Overwatch. So if you liked Overwatch, I think you'll fall into some of these characters really easily. But like the stages, the way they're set up, the way you fight them, the way all the, all of that is done, it just has such that Overwatch feel. So it scratches an itch because Overwatch 2 sucked. So yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I think the reason that it is as successful as it has become is because Overwatch sucks.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think...
Because so many people are upset and tired of Overwatch's thing. And I do respect like some of what the Rivals is doing with having like their season pass not be like an expiring one. If you purchase it, it's there for whatever. Which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's not the only reason why. I think it is filling a void, but I think it stands up on its own. I mean, again, I think it's a lot better than Overwatch. There's a lot of quality of life.
I don't mean
stuff in there.
that it's just a copy, because obviously, like, just copies aren't working. We've seen it. Concordia failed hard.
Well, I think that
it was basically a copy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't play a lot of it, so I didn't play any of it, I should say.
And then the old copies, which deserved a chance, got dropped.
Mm-hmm.
AKA, like, Battleborn.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's done more for this genre than a lot of games have in a while, so I'm about it.
I just had to get mad at you for, arguing with me yesterday when I said literally the
How
exact
dare you
same
cross
thing
him?
you just did.
No, it's not the same. That's what I'm saying.
But you did say that it's the same. That was your very first statement on it. Is that
well, you didn't let me finish. I was going to go on further to explain
I
what ways
didn't
it's
let
different.
you.
No. I think that's the hook, though, honestly. Like, all joking aside, I think the hook is, like, it's a lot like Overwatch.
I feel like
You're
it's
gonna get
close
that
enough
feeling.
and does some new stuff to, like, yeah. I think it's... I haven't played it. I don't not necessarily intend to.
Yeah, but it's basically Overwatch. I mean, no real.
But I can
difference.
respect its what it is doing different. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, Core Keeper. So,
and then it's bound to have less bots than.
I don't think that'll last long. I think.
Oh no! No.
Some
That is
shit is coming down the pipeline for sure.
That is on time. For now.
Yeah.
Statement. As is, it always is. Which is why I have a hard time playing games like that. It's like, oh, it's fun for the first few months, and then someone hacks the game, and
that's why you
terrible.
need to get in on it now. Well, it's still good.
No, I mean, at least it's free to play.
That is definitely a nice to have.
That makes it much better. So I do approve of games that are free and fun for people. So if you're a low budget gamer, it's probably great,
right?
I mean, that might be indeed what gets me to check it out one day, is me being bored and just
going like, all right, fine, I'll try it out.
No, it's free, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for me. Who's up next?
Andrew?
Yes. I could be up next.
How was your week?
You could be up next. You're right.
It was
Did you
okay.
have a week?
Did I?
Were you gifted a week?
Gifted? Like an extra one added onto his life?
I don't know.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
So the kids are getting each other these days instead of regular Christmas.
Yeah. That's a good gift.
It's expensive to be alive, so
It's
a
like-
week's a good chunk of change.
All right. Is this like that Justin Timberlake movie?
That's exactly like that Justin Timberlake movie. I don't even know what movie you're talking about. You just said
Doesn't
Justin
matter.
Timberlake and movie, and I'm in.
No, the weird one where it was like I don't know if I even actually saw it or I just saw a trailer or whatever, but the one where they have how long they're going to live on their arm, but they use it like currency.
I did think that was the movie you were talking about. Yeah.
None of you guys have seen it?
I think I did see it once, long ago. I don't remember it.
Ago.
In a land far, far away.
Indeed.
Couldn't tell you what happens in it.
Oh yeah, I have no idea.
It's
He
a
probably
story all about how his life got turned upside down.
Oh my god, This is actually the prequel to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air TV show. It's all about how his life got flipped turned upside down.
And then he got turned into Will Smith. And that would make anybody upset.
That just gotta be rough.
Yeah.
Then you gotta be known for movies like Hitchcock.
I never saw that.
What's his best work?
Seminal classic Hitchcock. Where he played the drunk superhero.
Oh yeah,
That's
that was
pretty.
about, huh?
Had a pretty similar, not much going on week.
Left to me.
Yep, you're gonna have to save. You're gonna have to save us.
We're doomed.
Been playing this
We're doomed.
Billionaire.
Wait, what?
It's, I've been playing Billionaire.
Oh,
Billionaire here
Oh,
game.
fancy.
Yep.
Sounds.
He's just playing with his balls.
Indeed.
It's true. It's important. That's how you.
It's good ball health.
Good ball health. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's a high performance balls.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty fun game though. I'm still kind of figuring it out, but
Yeah.
build little Plinko boards.
Cool. Yeah, it seems fun. I do like the Plinko. That was one of my favorites, honestly, watching what's that show? Price is Right? It's good stuff.
Price is wrong, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he said that?
Do you remember when he said that? But yeah, it's pretty boring week beyond that. I haven't really been up to too much.
Mm-hmm.
Playing a little Total War, got the new Total War DLC. Played a bit of that. Yeah, nothing too exciting for me.
Yeah.
Well, what was the DLC? Was it just the corn guys you were talking about?
There's corn and green skin guy and a what was the other one? Oh, ogres. Ogres got a guy. But the ogres are extra cannibally now, and
Always good to
corn's
have
extra
cannibal.
skull taken now.
Always good to have cannibal ogres. It's more
It's true.
important.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you have to keep their numbers low.
Yeah.
Before they get out ruly, you know? like insects.
Like insects. That's fair. Okay.
Anything else?
No, not really. Could there be?
I mean, yes, but only like because there should be more to life. But it is what it is.
Is what it is.
Sorry, did I bring the mood down?
You know, yeah, we're used to that though.
All right. Yeah. Well then, two littles. What do you got?
I've had a week. Watched the Indie Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. Balacho took home a couple of awards. Obviously. No, it was a pretty good little show. just to celebrate indie games in itself.
Yeah.
They had a little restriction. Balatro winning 2 was only because it happened to also get into one of the categories where it could win. Because Indie Game Awards did a thing where you can only be nominated for one category, except for it was like Game of the Year, Community, and something else. It had like 3 categories that you could be nominated for.
Oh,
also,
that's cool.
So they ended up taking one from that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm playing this game currently and doing terrible. It's called Into the Restless Ruins. Pretty cool little like deck building, dungeon making, survival or a survivor type game.
Wow, that's all the genres.
That's all the genres, every one of them, all in one neat package, especially for you. It's kind of cool. You gotta like build out a little dungeon with these cards, trying to uncover all these like little spaces and make it to the end of the area where you can fight the boss. Once you're done with like placing your room cards down, expanding the maze, you get to begin the harvest, in which you go into your maze and start fighting your way through the dungeon you made.
And then it's harvest time.
Yeah, and you put down rooms to like you put down like campsites and stuff so you can light your torch throughout your path, because the torch light is the only thing that's going to help you get through. Outside of that, if your torch grows too dark, you'll be you'll start taking damage. Start taking damage and eventually fail to make it out.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Of the dungeon. Other than that, you can get out of the dungeon by waiting for the portal that you start with to open up. And like going through that way. Oh my gosh, I'm blocked.
Don't die. Well, you probably will.
Probably. It's a pretty cool little game. Covers some like interesting aspects. Like, I don't do any of the fighting yourself, much like any of the other survivors. Your thing just kind of auto does.
Yeah,
it does its thing. But you got to try and like manage this bar here at the top of my screen that like fills up, and it's kind of like your dread meter.
Okay.
And once it fills all the way to the end, that's the end of your run.
How do you keep it down?
Certain rooms will help you get down, or as you make it through little thresholds, there's these you'll see on the top corner of my screen, it says like night 13, and then it says seals, and you'll see 4 little dots.
Oh, I thought
3 of which are lit up.
Sorry, I was gonna say, I thought that's how many animal seals you have.
Well, I wish.
Companionship.
If that was better, that would be a far better game. No, as you pass through the dungeons, those little rooms that you're trying to discover that are hidden away by the clouds, some of them have seals in them, and if you go to those, you unlock like further into the dungeon.
Okay.
As progression, and that will reduce some of it. Some rooms you can like reduce it as well. Just kind of look at the draw and different rooms you get.
Yeah.
It has like a golfy mechanism to where when you finally end a run is when you level up, and when you level up, you unlock new cards that go in your deck, and that you can unlock throughout your runs.
Okay. Okay.
Pretty cool little game. It is just a demo. It's not out.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
But it's been pretty fun.
It looks cool.
I quite enjoy it. Other than that, I haven't done a whole lot of gaming.
What about Helldivers? You guys didn't talk about Helldivers at all.
Oh, that's true. I did play some Helldivers.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's cool now. It's cool again.
The new faction.
Beautiful.
The new faction is really fun to fight against, and really spooky. They have like a. They create like zombies, and so they have like a zombie vibe to them a little bit.
Okay.
But they also have like they're kind of like a mix of the other two factions, in a sense, where like the bugs are like in your face and up close, and the robots being like a far away shooting at you. These ones offer like a mix of the two.
Gotcha.
It's a pretty good results.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's pretty fun. But it definitely brought in some spookiness to the game, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Andrew?
Well, I mean, just zombies.
You didn't feel like it was spooky?
No, not really.
It was just me.
Spooky zombies.
Spooky, creepy people.
I like the I do like the zombies. It just didn't seem like particularly spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Although the urban environments do make it feel a bit more spooky. They're just all claustrophobic.
Yeah.
You just turn around a corner and suddenly it's bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Zombie horde.
Yeah.
Fucking
So that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Nice.
So I proved with Helldivers,
Mhm.
obviously. Played a little bit of Rogue Legacy 2 in my off time. Didn't really play too much. I've been listening to books like crazy. But
I never heard of that book. Oh, I see what you're saying. Not a book named Crazy. Not a book that's like a book named Crazy. I see. My mistake. My bad. What all of anything of note, I should say? Anything you particularly liked? Anything
I don't
you
know.
particularly hated, actually?
So I read a sci-fi horror novel. It's called like The Void Beyond, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it had kind of like a cool gimmick for a little while. You're following like two ships that are kind of different in their aspects. There's one, and all the people are seemingly numbered. They all have numbers instead of names.
Oh.
And their culture seems to be very corporatized, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everything's in the progress of money and like finding resources.
Yeah.
And becoming rich. And then the other one is your very typical, obviously from Earth culture. And you find out there's been a war going on with this alien species that we basically accidentally started by getting faster than light travel.
Oh, okay, cool.
We were doing some faster than light travel through what they call slingshots, and flinging people through space.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But apparently in one of those we had a collision with another ship that happened to not be from our system, the Sol system.
Oh, interesting.
And it started an intergalactic war.
As one tends to come across.
Yeah, but these two ships get like, they're not the two ships that started this war or anything, but these two ships come across each other and they're like alien ships, so they're like fighting with each other, and you start realizing that the two perspectives that we're on are from both sides. And for a while there I was like, oh, are they just like both human, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, the people who are numbered are clearly aliens, because once they meet like the Earthlings, they're like, the Earthlings start like describing them to like the security officer on the radio, and they're like, it's got 3 legs, and like, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely like a human thing. Okay. So as you start, and the alien doesn't know what they're saying because it doesn't understand them. The language is different.
Mm-hmm.
But they slowly start to work out like a semi communication
Yeah.
way with some sign languages and pointing and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they end up kind of forming a little like alliance, because his ship, the alien's ship, gets like overrun by this like weird void, as the book title would suggest. But
Oh,
it starts like processing humans and then turning them into other creatures.
Oh, just straight up other creatures. Wow.
Yeah. It gets really weird. Apparently, there's more to the series, but I didn't know that there were more books. But it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Albeit a little short. I read a book called Beware a Chicken. That was pretty funny. I started book 2 of the Singer of Tarandria books,
The
which
Singer of
are
Tarandria.
yeah, it's a like side thing to The Wandering Inn.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
They just released book 2 of that, which is like the Singer of Tarandria in The Wandering Inn is like somebody that we've kind of like heard of, and they're like another character that's from Earth, because it's all about like there's a few people who've been brought to a fantasy land
Mm-hmm.
from Earth, and they're kind of like scattered around and stuff. But one of the people we've heard about is this singer, who's like putting out pop songs. Basically, she's become a pop star in a world that doesn't have that type of music.
Nice.
Becoming a star.
Mm-hmm.
And these books are about her and her becoming that star.
That's cool.
So it's been fun.
I can get behind that.
The Wandering Inn series is probably my favorite series currently. It's so good. Really, really good world building.
Yeah.
We finished What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, and you guys want to talk about that? I mean, listen, I don't care about spoilers.
It's just I'm still, recovering from it
Yeah.
emotionally.
Yeah.
I'm really happy, more or less, with the way it ended. Of course, you always want more of something.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's good, It ends where it should.
That's good.
Uh,
That's how it should be. That's how I felt with The Good Place. It's like, Had a good,
And apparently,
solid
they do
ending.
I need to go look for them, but apparently they do a thing where they did 3 different endings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of the gimmicks at the end, and this isn't really a spoiler bit, but Nausea does a mass hypnosis to the camera, giving everybody the ending they want. Because Guillermo definitely plays like the audience in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about like the documentary coming to a close.
Yeah. Okay.
And he has to face that fact. And so he's like, look, we'll just give everybody the ending they want. And she mass hypnotizes the camera. And apparently it splits off into 3 different scenes that you can watch that all parody some sort of old television show.
Nice. Are these like just online somewhere, or?
Yeah, on the wherever you can watch it. I'll look it up.
Probably on their website.
Fine, I'll look it up.
You don't have to. Jeez, he got so angry. Like, Jesus. Sorry. I know not what I did. What did I do it?
I know what I did. I meant it. I liked it.
All right. There's 3 different versions.
Jeez, take forever.
Well, this article wants to go on forever about how to actually watch them.
Oh, that's annoying. Ow.
It doesn't even answer that question. Holy shit.
Duped again. That's what I'm hearing. That'll teach you.
I know.
Maybe you have to pirate them. Like, that's part of the joke. Only if you know how to steal our media will you get to see these alternate endings.
It's the only way I know how to consume it.
I think you can watch them all from the Hulu.
Yeah, I'm seeing here. You go to the main page, go to extra. Yeah.
Hypnosis features.
Extra hypnosis, nice. And then somebody posted them to YouTube. You can get them all on YouTube and under. I'm sure that'll get taken down at some point.
I'm definitely gonna have to like watch them before they do then.
Yeah.
Because I only saw one of them, but there's apparently a couple different ones.
Yeah, I'll have to check them out. That sounds like fun.
That's a funny thing to play into the whole.
Right.
Not actually finally being able to mass hypnotize everybody.
A regular Darren Brown.
I enjoyed it. You know what? I thought it was a satisfying ending to the show.
Good.
And that's about it. I didn't do shit. Oh, we watched Heretic.
Oh yeah,
it was really good. Yeah. We haven't
which
touched Heretic.
I would highly recommend, as it very well might be my favorite movie to come out this year.
Oh really?
It was really good.
It won your movie of the year award, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Supposed to give one of those, yeah, for sure. A24 film starring Hugh Grant, whose performance was like phenomenal. He did so good. As did the two other actresses. As it is the story of 2 Mormon missionaries who go to this gentleman's house because he's requested information about the Mormon church. and seemingly innocently so. And he plays up that innocent character for quite a while, although like only in the way he acts, and he throws up a whole lot of like red flags.
Yeah.
And by the end of that movie, I'm not sure if a lot of the red flags that he threw up at the beginning weren't like completely on purpose as a character.
Yeah. I like when a show can question that, like, did he do that for a reason? Like, you know,
No, like I'm pretty positive like all of it was intentional.
That's cool. I like that.
From like the moment they like step up to his house, everything he did and said was 100% intentional, even if it was like the biggest red flags and should have scared anyone away.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also very like charming, like Hugh Grant is.
The moral of the
So it's
story
also
is
kind of like
pay attention to red flags.
It was good though, really, really good.
That's good. That's good.
I recommend it to anybody. But that's it. That was about it for my week.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, you've done more than us. You win again, Christian.
I know it.
You always win in my heart, though. No matter what.
Oh.
I was waiting for it. Well, yeah.
Well, you will always have a place.
Oh, we're getting sweet here. It's like the holidays are here.
In someone else's heart.
Oh, gotcha. Well,
You piece of shit! Oh my god.
mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to like you after all the things you've done to me in video games?
And that's in video games.
I played Mario Kart with you.
No grudges.
It makes me like
I
you
know
more.
how
All the stuff that you've
terrible
done,
you
Christian,
are.
in video games.
And I played golfy with you. I know how bad you are.
Look, everyone's a monster when they play golfy.
Oh, says the monster who plays golfy.
Yes. That's okay. It's all in fun and games. Well, yeah. Guess we shall call it there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week. As always, you can always catch us on Saturday mornings. Actually, we'll be taking a break the next 2 weeks. We'll be, right, 2 weeks, or is it 1 week? 1 week. 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
No. We're coming
plan
back
to
on the
return.
4th, so it's only 1 week. We won't be here next week. We'll come back on the 4th. Right?
Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah.
I mean, we can
Yeah.
do 2 weeks if you want. Do you think we should do 2 weeks?
Come back on the 11th.
Yeah.
The day before my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So we won't be here the next 2 weeks. Come back on the 11th. We'll do our Game of the Years, celebrate Too Little's birthday. What else do we have on the agenda? More gaming news. Yeah, so you can always catch us here on the YouTubes Saturday mornings, otherwise at 9 a.m. or today 10 a.m. There's a lot of exceptions that we have, so. But where else?
It's usually around 9.
Yeah, usually around 9. You can also find us at our website, classicgamerbrain.com. We're also on the Facebook. I still haven't made the Blue Sky account. I'll get on that. That's what this 2-week vacation is for me to do some catch up on things. And yeah. Thank you, Two Littles. Thank you, Coffee, for joining me. Oh yeah, the Discord. Yeah. Discord, you
Join
can
our
find find that on the link on our Twitch and on the YouTube and our website as well. So definitely join in there.
We're down to play some games sometimes with people.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a little game finder or game, friend, group finder.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, come and join us. Yeah, I think that's it. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Have happy holidays and a good new year. We'll see you then. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Mission Christian to do the outro music though. It's terrible.
Krampus is coming for you.